you ever felt.
It's the Rob's Rant Show
with your host, Rob Bell.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Trump, the Chump, and his married men can't get this health bill passed. Let's talk about that when I come back. Hi, I'm Rob Bell, your motivational speaker. I have over 35 years in the public speaking business. If you wish to book me for any of your events, go to robbellspeaks@gmail.com. I speak on such topics as working with at-risk youth, how to deal with community development, how to identify dangerous drugs and narcotics, how to act when you're stopped by police officers in the street, and a host of other topics. Please, if you wish to book me, again, go to robbellspeaks@gmail.com. You'll be glad you did. This is Rob Bell, and this is Rob's Rant. Well, Trump, the Chump, thought it was going to be easy to pass this health care bill and abolish Obamacare. Well, he's finding out that it's not as easy as he thought when he campaigned. And a lot of his fellow Republicans, based on the way the bill is written now, are electing to not get this bill passed. So now he's got egg on his face, and he wants to turn around and run. He wants to blame Paul Ryan, and he just wants to kind of wash his hands of it, because he's coming to understand that you can't negotiate and make deals with the American public, with the Congress, and with the Senate in the same way that you do with business partners out in the world. America is not a business. America is founded on politics. It's ran basically by the people and the Constitution. And there are just certain things you cannot do because you have a lot of money and you think you have charisma and you think you have what it takes to negotiate. And he is finding that out. Paul Ryan is hell-bent on getting the health care bill passed because it's a personal thing for him. And so, of course, he's going to push it in the way that he has. But there are other Republicans out there that are not falling in love with this bill because they got to go back to the people who voted them in office and explain some things to them that might have a negative effect. And they're not ready to do that because they clearly understand that Donald Trump is only going to be the president for 4 years, maybe not even that long. He certainly is not going to be the president for 8. And they're going to be holding those offices long after that and don't want to be responsible for a bill that's going to hurt the people who voted them in office. So they're not crazy about getting this bill passed, and I doubt very much if it will get passed. And even if it does, it still has to pass in the Senate, and that's not going to happen either. So egg on your face, Donald Trump, because all that you thought you was going to do with all your bullying tactics and all the things that you do is just not going to happen. On another note, there are young African-American girls in Washington, D.C. coming up missing. And nobody's even talking about that. And that's right under the nose of the powers to be in Washington, D.C. and nobody's even speaking on it. Most importantly, the media is not even speaking on it. They are so up Donald Trump's behind and preoccupied with this health care bill and preoccupied with the Russians that they're forgetting that there are other things happening in America. More importantly, things that are affecting the African American community. We have young African American girls possibly being abducted, being used for human trafficking, and who knows what. And the news is not even reporting on it. They report on everything else, things that are happening all over the world. But when we talk about things that are happening right at our doorstep, more importantly, things that are happening in our community, the black community, they choose not to report on that. Where are the Black Lives Matters protesters? Where are all the All Lives Matter protesters? Where are all the women protesters? Nobody seems to be taking issue with this, and all of a sudden, it's squeaking its way through the media. Well, you know me. I'm not going to let this ride. I'm going to speak out on it. We as people in our community need to be up in arms about the fact that there's something fishy going on with these young girls being abducted or used for human trafficking and coming up missing, and quite a few number even within the last 24 hours. And we need to stand up and say something about this. Stop sitting back and not doing anything about things that are having a dramatic effect on our community. We continue to lay back and hope for somebody to come in and ride in on a white horse and save us. It's not going to happen. We have to take action. We have to save ourselves. We got to stop depending on other people to fix things in our community. It's our job. Go back in history. Didn't Malcolm X tell you that? Listen to what that man had to say. I've published several videos on what we need to do as a community to start saving ourselves. But nobody wants to listen because I'm just Rob the ranter, the madman who is opening up his mouth because he likes to be seen on Facebook. No, I'm trying to educate you, and I'm trying to get you to understand that as a community, we have to do better. This is Rob Bell, and this is Rob's Rant.
Are you listening? Damn.